Old Path New Walk. It's Caitlin again, and today I wanted to talk about alternatives for screen time with your kids. I know this is probably a super sensitive topic for today's society, but as a pediatric OT, I feel like it is one of the hot topics for me that I feel most passionate about. And so I wanted to put out some content with this first, just kind of addressing the effects of screen time and different alternatives for your family to engage in versus just always using screen time. Now, I'm going to preface by saying there is absolutely no judgment on anybody if that is what you default to, is using screen time with your kids. There are different seasons of life where we're just trying to survive. You know, I have 3 kids, 5 and under, and I have the support of a husband who works full time, and I am able to stay home with our kids now after I left the workforce. And so I get that that kind of lifestyle affords me to be able to stay home with our kids, and it is still hard with having 3 kids at home and me doing it by myself throughout the day. So I understand that everybody's situation is unique to them, and sometimes using screens is the only way that you can cope or your kids can cope with whatever season you're in. So I just wanted to preface by saying that, like, there is absolutely no judgment. But from my line of work, what I have seen is a generation of kids that is just devastated with the digital influences of today's modern time. It's something that I've seen time and time again where kids are truly addicted to using screens in different capacities. This could be at school, this could be at home, this could be at daycare, wherever the environment is, in whatever situation it is, and whatever kind of screen it is, kids are just really addicted to it. And I can relate to that because when I have my phone, I see different tendencies within myself of, oh wow, like I really did just spend 5 minutes doom scrolling on the internet. And I understand that I have the skills of self-control and being able to moderate those different tendencies, whereas kids do not. And so it's really up to the adults to help them learn those skills and to kind of moderate it for them. I know that this is a hard thing for a lot of families to not default to screens. So you're like, what in the world do I do with my kids then? Because I'm stressed out or I'm burnout, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm so tired, I work full time, maybe you work more than full time, whatever the situation is, like, my hat's off to you, because if you're watching this, you're likely a parent who is doing the parenting thing and you're in the trenches. I'm right there with you, and I just want to give you a high five because you're doing great. And I just wanted to give some alternatives that are easy. You don't have to spend money. They're just ideas that we utilize in our home to kind of regulate our family without having to use screens. So first things first, reading books. We love books in our house, and our kids get really excited about books. We love going to the library. They get really excited about going to the library and checking out books or going to story time. They love audiobooks, which is a great way for them to listen to a book without actually having to sit down yourself and read a book. Books really help facilitate all sorts of brain development, whether it's the literacy skills that they're learning because of the vocabulary in the books and how to put words together and sentences and thoughts. It's really great for building attention, especially for the kiddos who have difficulty with attention. books just have so many benefits, and the research definitely shows that. So reading is a great option. Number 2 is creative play. And in one of my last videos, I talked about creative play every day. I feel like this is a skill that kids learn over time, is being creative and playing in different creative ways. And that is really fostered through screen-free time, where they just have the freedom to play in weird, unique ways that engages them in a different way than a screen would. And in our house, we use a system for quiet time baskets and playtime baskets. And so if it's a time where I need them to play by themselves without me having to facilitate anything, I will prompt them to go to their quiet or playtime baskets. Another option is doing chores with me. So this is a great one when my kids need attention from me to fill their cups, but I feel that push-pull of also I have to get some stuff done, like getting dinner on the table or putting the baby down or cleaning because I haven't vacuumed in 2 weeks. This is a great one because I can do 2 things at once. I invite the kids alongside of me. They can help me do whatever chore I'm doing, vacuuming, cleaning, doing dishes, folding laundry, whatever it is, whatever that looks like in your house. But they can come alongside me and help help me do things around the house. And that is really valuable time because we get to hang out together, and there are some things that I just have to get done, and that feels good too, and that's okay. Number 4 is get outside. That can either be supervised play where you're going outside with them, or that could just be them going outside. I don't have to explain all the benefits for going outside. I mean, there are just a number of benefits to going outside, playing outside, getting dirty, getting the fresh air. So the benefits are endless. Lastly, I would encourage you to let your kids be bored. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how boredom for me when I was growing up really facilitated all sorts of learning and development and skills for me that I don't think I would have had otherwise. Most creative thoughts and behaviors come from being bored. Now, I get it. From my professional life and my personal life, I understand that the initial behaviors that you might have when you encourage a child to be bored, they're going to be tough because kids don't like to be bored. Neither do we. But it's kind of one of those growing pains that we have to all get through so that they can learn how to navigate those times of being bored. It's a skill, and we all had to learn it. I had to learn it, and so I want to encourage my kids to learn it too. When I feel the urge to reach for a screen with my kids, I always think of it like it's a decision tree. So I just think of how I'm doing and how the kids are doing before I make the next step. So first I'm going to evaluate myself. Do I have the energy to do something with these kids? Yes? Okay, great. I'm probably going to invite them to do chores with me because they're at an age right now where they get jazzed about doing chores with mom. Even if your kids are a little bit older and that's not the season of life you're in, you can still spin it to them where they get to spend quality time with you while you get to teach them skills and you both get to accomplish something valuable for your home. Now, there are days where I do not have the energy when we have been running around all day or the kids are just driving me up the wall, because that happens. You get it, you've been there, I'm sure. But if it's a time where I don't have the capacity to invite them alongside me while I'm doing something, I'm going to let them do an activity by themselves. So that is going to be the creative play, that's going to be letting them be bored or letting them do some reading. We're not in a situation right now where I can just let our kids go outside unattended, but that's a great one if that is something that you're able to do. Next, I'm going to evaluate the kids' capacity. How are they doing? Are they fed and rested and getting along and have had all of their needs met? Great. Invite them to do any activity within reason that they want to do. In our house, it really helps to give them two options. So, hey, so and so, would you want to do this or that? Okay, and then it can kind of be a dialogue with what they choose to do. Does your kid not have any capacity? Are they kind of reaching the point of a meltdown, but you're not quite there yet? I get it. Encourage them to do some reading. And with whatever cognitive stage or developmental stage they're at, they can always do some kind of engagement with books. Even our baby is reaching for books. And obviously, the baby is not reading the books, but she's playing with them. And that's fun too. Something that my kids really like is choosing between an actual physical book, or they can have the choice of an audiobook, and I get to decide when I give that choice. Sometimes they're just allowed. Sometimes a physical reading book is their only option, but sometimes I'll be the fun mom and let them do an audiobook. It's just, I have Spotify on my phone. Because I feel like you have gone through all of the options and your kid still doesn't want to do any of these options. This is a great time for them to be bored. And when you do that, it'll likely defer back to one of the other 4 options that I talked about. But it's the process of learning how to be bored and figuring out something to do with that boredom. I understand that real life sometimes requires us to reach for a screen so that we can just live moment by moment. Sometimes we're just in survival mode. But I want to encourage you to not reach for that as your default, or just take a baby step towards something different. In our house, we use it every once in a while. And I feel like that genuinely has allowed our kids to be kids and to be creative and to play and to have those moments that I had growing up and moments that I feel like generations before us had, right? They didn't have all of the technology to get sucked into and to get addicted to, because I've seen that side of kids who are genuinely addicted to something and are having actual withdrawals from screens. And it kind of wreaks havoc on the kid and the whole family unit. I know that it's kind of an old-timey perspective, but it's one that I am truly passionate about. Just letting kids be kids, letting them run around in the grass, letting them get dirty, letting them be spontaneous and initiate things and to be creative. And it's a concept that I want to bring back to this upcoming generation of kids. So, call to action. Before you reach for a screen to give to your kid this week, let them have a choice that's something other than a screen. And it might be a difficult process at first, but I really think that everybody can benefit from it. I hope this is helpful, and we can do things differently and we can do it together. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next time on Old Path, New Walk.